You know, speaking of that, you can jump back in time and take your whole body back a few years with Swetnam Cosmetic,
I like how you
right?
did that.
Yeah, baby.
Transition.
Nice segue.
Yes,
Perfect.
we got the doctors, Stubbs and Swetnam joining us. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I hear we're talking about some new legislation today. What can you fill us in on about that?
Well, I'm on the board of the American Academy of Cosmetic Surgery, American Board of Cosmetic Surgery, and there's been a lot of activity with Brazilian butt lifts, which is fat grafting to the bottom to make the bottom more full, and you know, there are a lot of us that have no butt, and it's one
you
way.
You can say it. It's flat back there, right? Yeah.
So there are kind of two alternatives. You can put implants in, which people used to do a lot, and then now what's kind of developed over the last probably 15 or 20 years is we steal fat from other places, so you can get some abdomen contouring, and then you take that fat and you put it in the bottom.
Okay.
In Florida and in some of these states, especially Florida in particular, they had a lot of deaths from this, and it was really big in the news for a while, and so we started really delving into, you know, the causes and everything, studying the autopsy things and all that. And basically what happens is 100% of the time in every death, people are injecting fat into the muscle.
Okay.
The fat goes into the muscle, and a vein is injured, the fat's injected into the vein, it travels through the venous system to the heart, goes into the lungs, boom, and that's it.
So someone uneducated on this, obviously, is that too deep when you're going into muscle tissue?
Yeah, so you know what we've come down to, obviously you don't want to be in the muscle. That's just the bottom line. And so there have been some safety guidelines, and I really kind of applaud the Florida legislature. They had the biggest problem. They have taken it head on. The legislature and the medical board down there has basically come up with some significant guidelines, and fortunately we've been following the guidelines for years, you know, because we're well trained to do this kind of thing. This is one of the cosmetic procedures but there are a lot of people that aren't, and Florida was rampant with those they were kind of dock in the boxes. Some of them were done in basements.
Yeah, why Florida? I mean, I've heard this.
Well, it's Dade County, actually. It's Miami-Dade County.
Okay.
I think it's BBLs are really hot in the Hispanic population, and there's a significant number there. Also, there was a race to the bottom price-wise there, so it got really cheap. And then
people would travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's medical tourism, so to speak, because they were going for the price. And they find themselves in these weird situations, and people don't know what they're doing. And the other thing, there are a lot of if you come to the United States with a medical license from another country, it's very difficult to get an American medical license without being retrained. And so what happened was a lot of these venture capitalists came down, saw how many billions of dollars were being made in Brazilian butt lifts. They fired up these clinics, hired a couple doctors to supervise them, and then what they did was they went and they got doctors that weren't trained in cosmetic surgery at all, but they had some credentials. They hired them as techs. They were doing the liposuction.
Okay. Oof.
And then somebody else comes in, and so there were a lot of injuries from liposuction as well because of inexperience.
But you're certified in this, right? And you said you've been working to those standards for years. But you do have Jenny. Can we talk about Jenny really quick? Is that the technology that helps you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So Jenny is our little ultrasound handheld device. So it Bluetooths to a laptop or a iPad during surgery. And so what we're doing is we're watching ourselves inject it into the subcutaneous tissue above the fat and so above the muscle. So we are safe with our injections. We're doing it in a retrograde fashion. And so we're using our techniques that we learned through training, fellowship, residency, et cetera. And then on top of that, we're seeing exactly where we're putting the fat, where we need to put it, and where the patient wants to put it. So our safety is much elevated.
Well, that's critical. If you know where the tip of your cannula is, know what angles to use, know what planes you're supposed to be in, it's actually safer. A BBL is actually safer than a tummy tuck.
Okay.
But if you don't do those things, it's I mean, it's a matter of life and death, really, because it can really be a bad thing. But we want to just talk about that because there's a lot of buzz about it.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And that's why you want to check out the pros there at Swetnam Cosmetic Surgery. So give them a call, go see them. I know you've got a new spot there in Johnson, but you can find all that information over on our website, or you can just Google search Swetnam
They're right
Cosmetic
near my
Surgery.
house.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I don't need a BBL, but we can talk about some other things.
September 26th is our open house for the new deal, too. So.
Okay, now you heard it here first.